Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to explain you the system testing. A system testing includes the testing of a fully integrated software system. So system testing is applied when the software is integrated and when it is fully completed, the system testing is applied. So generally, a computer system is made with the integration of a software. The software is developed in units and then interfaced with other software and hardware to create a complete computer system. So to create a complete computer system, we always use the different units and we interface all the units together with the other software and hardwares so that we can able to create a complete computer system. A computer system consists of a group of software to perform a various tasks. So always a computer system is consisting a number of groups of a software to perform the different tasks, because every component or every unit performs a specific task. So therefore we say that it performs a various task, but only software cannot perform the task, because individual software cannot perform tasks because it requires some of the interfaces, some of the hardware components also. For that, the software must be interfaced with the compatible hardware. So system testing is a series of different types of tests with the purpose to exercise and examine the full working of an integrated software computer system against the requirement. So we perform the system testing because to find out whether we are satisfying the user requirements or the business requirement, whatever the system we have developed or not. So we are exercising and examining the full working condition of the integrated software in the system testing. There are four levels of software testings: unit testing, integration, system testing, and acceptance testing. So these are called the hierarchy of the testing levels. Okay, so we always starts with the unit testing, then we perform the integration testing, then the system testing is performed, and afterwards the acceptance testing is performed. So here the unit testing is used to test a single unit of a software, whereas the integration testing is used to test a group of units of a software, and system testing is used to test a whole systems. Once the integration completes, thereafter the system testing is performed and system is checked as a whole system or one component. Acceptance testing is used to test the acceptability of a business requirements. Here, the acceptance test is nothing but whether we are meeting all the requirements or not, whether all the furnished requirements of the business are accepted in the system or not. So we are testing the acceptability of a business requirements or the user requirements in the acceptance testing. So these are the four levels of the software testing. There are mainly, or we can say widely used method for the software testing is the white box testing and black box testing. So these are the two main categories or the methods which are widely used in the software testing. So these methods are white box testing and black box testing. Let us understand about the white box testing, the first method of the software testing. White box testing is also called as the glass box or clear box or structural testing. And it is a test case design philosophy that uses the control structure describes as a part of the component level design to drive the test cases. So white box testing is based on the application's internal code structure. In white box testing, an internal perspective of the system as well as the programming skills are used to design the test cases. Okay, so usually this is done at the unit level. Okay, so using white box testing methods, we can drive the test cases that guarantee that all the independent parts within a module have been exercised at least once. It means that this white box testing guarantees that all the paths, all the paths are exercised or tested at least once. Second is exercise all the logical decisions on their true and false sides. Assume that we have a condition, we have the two uh, logical decisions of the condition, one is true, one is false. So we have to exercise both true and false. By putting the input value, we should exercise all or the two decisions of the logical true or false sides, and executing all the loops at their boundaries and within their operational bounds, exercise internal data structure to ensure uh, their validity. So internal data structure, using that we can ensure that the validation should be done. So validation is going to be happen in the internal data structure. So these are the some of the methods which we use in the white box testing. White box testing methods is applicable to the following levels of a software testing. The mainly it applies to unit testing and integration testing. So when we apply the white box testing, so it will applicable to unit and integration. So unit testing, it is for testing the paths within a units. So if there are a n number of paths, we are checking whether all the paths are working properly or not. So it ensures that every possible route through a given part of the code is executed and tested. So that we need to ensure. In integration testing, for testing paths between the units. So testing paths between the units means if there are a number of paths are there. So we need to ensure that all the paths between the different units are tested properly or not. System testing, for testing paths between the subsystems. After integrations, all the subsystems paths are properly tested or not. So it can be ensured in the system testing. So these are the some of the following levels of a software testing in a white box testing methods. White box testing, we have some of the advantages and disadvantages. Like advantage is testing can be commenced at an earlier stage once the need, not wait for the GUI to be available. So it means that we should not wait for the GUI should be available for our testing. So testing can be started at an earlier stage of the testing, or we start with the unit level. Therefore, we say that the testing can be commenced at an earlier stage. This is the advantage. And second is that testing is more thorough with the possibility of the covering most paths. The disadvantages are since test can be very complex, highly skilled resources are required with the thorough knowledge of the programming and implementation. So therefore, anyone who is not having the thorough programming knowledge and implementation knowledge cannot be able to test it. So therefore, the test can be very complex and highly skilled resources are required. So this is the disadvantage. Second disadvantage is test script maintenance can be a burden if implementation changes too frequently. So any changes which is required in the software and it is too frequently, then it is very difficult to maintain or it is a burden to maintain the test scripts. So this is the second disadvantage. The third is since this method is testing it closely tied with the application being tested, tools to cater to every kind of implementation or platform may not be readily available. So, when this method is tested too closely with the application, it's very difficult to have the tools or the applications to test the softwares. So, it is also a disadvantage of the white box. Okay, so let us move to black box testing. So, black box testing is also called as the behavioral or specification based testing, which focuses on the functional requirement of the software. And black box testing techniques enables you to drive the set of input conditions that will fully exercise all the functional requirement for a program. And it also black box testing is not an alternative to white box testing. Rather, it is a complementary approach that is likely to uncover a different class of errors that white box methods. Okay, so here a black box testing is a software testing method in which the tester evaluates the functionality of the software under the test without looking at an internal code structure. So this can be applied to every level of a software testing. It may be a unit or integration or a system or acceptance testing because it is also called as input and output testing. So therefore, this technique enables you to drive the set of input condition that will fully exercise all the functional requirement of a program. So here the tester creates a test scenarios or cases based on the software requirements and specifications. So it is based, the tester creates the scenarios and cases based on the SRS. The tester performs the testing only on the functional part of an application to make sure that the behavior of the software is as expected. Okay, so this is how this black box testing works. Black box testing attempts to find the error in the following categories. Those categories are incorrect or missing functions. It finds the errors in incorrect or missing functions of a software or any interface errors are there. So it is applied to find the interface errors and also errors in data structure or external database access. Also behavior or performance errors, and it is also used to initialize and termination errors. So any initialization errors are there or any terminations error errors are there. So black box testings are used to find these errors. Now we have some of the black box testing methods which is applicable to the following levels of a software testing. So integration testing, system acceptance testing. The higher the level and hence the bigger and more complex the box, the more black box testing method comes into use. We have some of the advantages like tests are done from a user's point of view and will help in exposing discrepancies in the specifications. So this black box testing is done from user's point of view. Anything missed out in the SRS can be exposed here. A tester needs to know the programming language or how the software has been implemented. So when the tester performs the black box testing, he should know how the software is going to be implemented. Test can be conducted by a body independent from the developers, allowing for an objective perspective and the avoidance of developers bias. See, when the test conducted, uh, the testers are the independent body, independent team, because we never involve the developer, because again it creates the developer's bias. Okay, so test cases can be designed as soon as the specifications are completed. Once the specifications are completed, so immediately the test cases being designed for the black box testing. So some of the disadvantages of the black box testing is only a small number of possible inputs can be tested and many program paths will be left untested. So this is the first disadvantage. Without clear specification, which is the situation in many projects, the test cases will be difficult to design, because without having a proper programming knowledge or without knowing how the software is going, uh, how the software has been developed, so it is very difficult to prepare the test cases. Test can be redundant if the software designer or developer has already run a test case. Thank you for watching. This is the third. Kindly like, share, and subscribe my video. Thank you.